Good morning, everybody. Actually, good afternoon.
Let's begin now.
Today, I want to talk about the two things that I think are currently lacking in terms of getting EVs out to a wider audience. The first of those is the charging networks. I mean, it's got to be infrastructure. There aren't enough chargers. It's far too complicated to make them work. I mean, you can go in and buy a coffee anywhere. You just wave your card at it, contactless payment, boom. It's so easy. It takes no time whatsoever. Whereas when you plug in your car, half the time you wind up spending more actual minutes trying to work out how to make the app work and which card will or won't work, and oh, this charger's broken, and oh my word. You just need to get charging. It's going to take 15 minutes to charge. You don't really want to have 5 minutes trying to make the charger actually cooperate. And the second thing that holds it back for everyone is availability of different kinds of electric cars. Come on, Jasper, let's nip out and grab some lunch. And you get Jasper. Okay. Weird. I don't know, they're not here yet, are they? Supposed to come out for a meal, isn't it? Might go out for another meal later. Lots of eating out. That's what we need, isn't it?
Can I have a bit of your cake when I get home?
Of course you can. Have it for pudding. Right, do you want a big piece or a little piece?
I want a big piece.
Right, I think maybe a little piece.
Hi! There comes the boss.
Hello. I checked out on the Tesla Find Us page for chargers in Canada, and I noticed there's some on the west coast and there's some on the east coast, and then in the middle there's some destination chargers, and that's it.
Yes.
So it's going to take quite a long time, presumably, to get across there, because you're basically going to have to stop overnight every 200 miles.
So it's the usual sort of thing, a bit like with you, right? You get to where you're going to spend the night, plug the car in, and then tomorrow morning, ta-da, full tank of, or full charge.
For the most part, actually, around the UK, I don't bother plugging in where I go because it's too much hassle getting the cables out. So instead what I tend to do is just use the electricity networks. So basically every time you've stopped at a motorway service station since you've been here, somewhere on that service station there will be a couple of 50 kilowatt chargers. You know, I mean, the country's not that big.
No.
You know, it's just basically the way, the way to put it. I mean, even to get to the north of Scotland would, easily within a day.
But they're like, oh, well, I'll wait until I get a car with 600 or 1,000 kilometers of range. And my answer to that is, I don't know about you, but my bladder won't last that long. Comfort break, and then you, coffee break, me, food break, chocolate break, and maybe all three, who knows? But you're going to have to stop anyway, so you got to stop thinking of it in terms of an internal combustion engine car where, okay, I have to go here to refuel, and then I can look after my needs later on. I need to stop, so I might as well fill up the car while I'm here. That's where
I think the charging networks really kind of let the side down, because, I mean, for example, let's say you're stopping and you literally just need to grab a coffee, run to the loo, and you manage to get back to the car in 15 minutes. Well, Ecotricity, the company I was telling you about, they have a 30-minute thing. They basically sell their quick charger access by the 30 minutes, which means that if you're only there 15 minutes, you've either got to waste half of it or sit in the car for 15 minutes. I think it will change with time, but it's one of those things that is really holding back EVs, is that infrastructure, flexibility in terms of the charging networks. I mean, if you rented an EV for this, it would either have had to come with a bunch of apps and instructions and, different charging networks, and go to this website for this and that website for that.
And I think the other thing is they need to sort out what sockets cars are going to use.
I don't think the sockets thing, I think the sockets thing is one of those things that's blown way out of proportion by...
Adapters, so you can get adapters.
For the most part, people that don't own EVs.
Yeah.
in that basically, once you've got the electricity, all you're really talking about is just some microchips and a bit of cabling between the fast charger and the car. So most of these Ecotricity points, the new ones they put in now, are all triple standard. So they do the Type 2 AC high power, they do CHAdeMO, and they do the European version of CCS.
Oh, right.
And that's obviously just how it's going to be. Let's say you drove your, what are you in here? A Nissan
Extra.
Nissan Extra. Okay, so you decide you want to visit France, right?
Yeah.
This is a much bigger problem in Europe than I think it is in the US and Canada, but you will get that problem. If you drive your car into France, you can pull into a petrol station, hand over your credit card, and leave with a full tank of fuel and go on your journey.
Right.
You know, nice and civilized and exactly the same as you would do at home.
Yeah.
If I take my Tesla to France, as it stands at the moment, because I have made no effort to get any of the cards over there, I can use the Tesla superchargers, that's it. If I had a Nissan Leaf or an Ampera E, for example, they don't even sell them here, but
yeah.
You know, let's say that they did, and I had one, so it's a long-range car, it can easily drive to Italy and backwards.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, I get to France, and all of a sudden, it's wall sockets.
Yeah.
Now to the main question of the day. Why don't you have an EV?
I really want one. The main thing is I'm a bit of a relatively new to the EV community, shall we say. My cousin in BC, he has a Tesla AD5, and
which is an excellent car, I might add.
It is, and I'd been
fun.
vaguely aware of Tesla, but it wasn't really on my radar. I think I was like most people who aren't into EVs, well, those golf carts and all that sort of thing. So I wasn't that bothered. But I've always been somewhat aware of the environment, but not to the extent that I am now. So when my cousin got his Tesla, you know, of course I was, oh, can I have a drive, please? You know, yeah, sure. And of course you put your foot down and pew, it's like a rocket. And of course you got that. Okay, I need to have a Tesla. I need to have next car needs to be a Tesla. The main thing that's stopping us right now, honestly, is the size. So Elon really need smaller car. I know the Model 3 is coming, but I'm waiting for the Model Y because I want to replace our BMW X1 with a Tesla Model Y. And I want to replace our Mazda 3 with, I don't know, maybe the next generation Leaf. So it's a case of not if, but when.
You know, we looked for an EV for Soph. In the long range category in the UK, I would just about, if I was feeling really generous and it was a mild winter, sneak the Renault Zoe 40 kilowatt into that, just right at the bottom. But she doesn't like the car, it's not really her style, and it's a little bit on the small side for her. She'd quite like a Model X, but the thing is huge. The reality is I think she'd probably be better off with a Model Y, which just isn't available. Yes. You know, I'd actually quite like an estate. Right. Luckily, the Tesla actually is kind of the best of both worlds in that for most sized loads, it's big enough that it is basically carries what an estate will. Come on, we need to get your shoes on. Righty.
Whose car are we going?
You're going in Daddy's car.
Yay!
And Mummy, before you tell me off for those trousers, those aren't the ones he was wearing earlier. They had a great big hole in them. We're going to go grab some dinner. Oh yes, time for a nice burger. He's not buckled in yet, I forgot to buckle him in. But yeah, then we'll go get you fueled up.
Oh, I know, I'm sorry.
Diesel cars are so inconvenient. Looks a bit on the busy side.
We tried to keep up, we were pedalling as fast as we could.
You flew off.
Yeah, I put my foot down just a couple of times.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want people to think I'm slow all the time. Whose car's that? Hello, fancy seeing you here. Good news is we can eat here. What do you think the bad news is?
There's no space.
Yeah, I have to eat outside.
To meet Mama.
Come on then.
That's too loud. Who's louder, him or you? Uh-oh, uh-oh. Who's gonna win?
I've got an issue. Again.
I used to like eating at this pub.
I couldn't believe it. I'm watching the number go up and up and I'm like,
I know.
how much is a litre? Like,
oh, I went to where did we go?
he's right here.
Oh, I went to this gas station the other day. I've ended up paying 90 quid.
That's ridiculous.
Can you believe it?
I couldn't believe it. Your prices
so
are
angry.
so more expensive here for your gas.
We're long overdue a ski trip.
You are.
Massively.
You can come out anytime.
We
Yes,
haven't
you're
had
welcome.
a ski trip since before I gave birth to him.
I know, I said
So
earlier.
Yeah, you
I've
said that
forgotten
earlier,
how
yeah.
to ski.
Have a safe onward journey.
We will.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, what a yummy meal.
Sorry, my
Now it's time to get the overtired Jasper to bed. So always nice to see them, and you know, they live in Canada, so they are directly related, I suppose, to the issues that I think are really holding EVs back more than any other. Principally, it's the infrastructure, and there are so few longer range EVs available. You basically got a handful of Teslas, the Bolt, which isn't even sold in this country. Maybe if you're feeling generous, the Renault Zoe, it's an absolute stretch. But everything else is considerably shorter range. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, remember to like it, share it and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram if you don't already. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next installment of my daily vlog. Bye.